Hello everyone, I hope everybody's keeping well. So I talked yesterday, about voluntary and I put a poll up on my channel. I can do the community post now, so make sure you check it out and vote. It's basically, you know the way you pay insurance and things like that in the school, you pay €100, like I used to pay. My parents used to pay €100 for me to go to secondary school, for heating and for putting or whatever, etc., etc., €100 and something euro. Which is pretty hefty, like let's be honest, for hefty for a year, especially because I wasn't I wasn't there half the time last year, but we still paid it anyway. And I wasn't there nearly half the time, but anyway. But you know, it is pretty hefty. It is pretty hefty, and again, as Bernardus has said, and I get the figure here now. I'm very bad at figures. A survey carried out, so 50% of the people who done the survey are worried about the cost of sending their children back to school. It's stressful, it's hard to fees. It's not feasible to pay extra. Now, this bill is being proposed by Sinn Féin Matt Carthy to the Minister for Education, number 40. Now, I get the exact wording of it. To have the power to ban participation of voluntary competition. So basically, stop schools, because schools did send out letters, not my school, when I was at secondary school, I was at a national school, but I have seen letters from schools, national schools in Cavan, that schools, the boards of management and the principals of the school were sending out letters asking for donations, voluntary donations, and basically put pressure with the parents too. In some cases, they did put it in some parts of the country. They did put up the price. Take, for example, it was €100 a year. Maybe when you were told you, it went up to maybe 200. It did in some schools. They added in the price, the extra price. And it isn't fair. You know, it isn't fair to go and ask them for more. Again, if you pay for your insurance, obviously you need to pay for insurance. That's one thing you need to pay for. The photocopying and whatever else you have to pay for, because that €100 take, for example, Saturday and everything, even though it wasn't there half the time, but but again, that's the thing. You know, voluntary contributions, so basically the board's management, the principals will send letters home asking for money, begging for money, for towards heating and everything like that. And the poll that I did on my channel, let me get it up now. So 8 people voted. This is 11 hours ago, so if you wish to vote, you can. I asked, should parents have to pay more for electricity and heating? So there's three solutions here to people. Yes, should pay more, 13% should say they should pay more. No way, we pay too much in taxes already, 13%, so level. And then the next one, get number 40 to pay for it, 75%. So a good few people voted for number 40 to pay for it. Which, yeah, it should be the case already, because everything should be really about number 40. I always make everything about number 40. But this is the kind of shite that number 40 is up to. Being sneaky, trying to get a few extra bob out of people, trying to shake down the basket, and they say that. It's probably going to her back pocket. That's probably where the money's going to. Especially coming to, like I do remember last Christmas, there was letters sent home to some schools in Monaghan about it, and I remember hearing about it. I remember people putting it up on Facebook about it, parents uproaring, really just uproaring about it, saying, especially because it was near Christmas time, it was around the second week of Christmas, coming into Christmas holidays, let's be fair, and coming out of that, especially that time of year, and saying, you know, hanging out the basket and saying, spare change, you know, especially when, you know, your taxes pay for it. Your taxes, you pay enough taxes. You work all day, every day, and you pay your taxes. And then they come looking for more money to the Department of Education for you to pay towards in the local CMHBs. You know, it doesn't make sense. Again, you pay your taxes for a reason, and that's what I see it as. It's all I paid maybe for insurance. That's okay. I don't see a problem with that. But it's ridiculous coming along and saying, you know, we want you to pay for electricity, voluntary contributions, maybe €200-300. Please, thank you, maybe. But again, they can't really force it. But you kind of peer pressure, if that makes sense. You kind of peer pressure when you get it out, you're like, oh God, my son could freeze to death in the schools. Which in some cases is happening. Like during when the windows are open to the schools, for COVID restrictions and all that, children would get pneumonia sitting beside windows in schools because they were open all day and people were getting fucking the death of cold. But yeah. So yeah, as I said too, this is an instant to Matt Carthy did say about this. some schools couldn't provide hot water for students to wash their hands. Again, they're very miserable. Like, again, they're really just miserable, these Department of Education. Again, given number 40 the power. Again, this is the thing. How is she still there? Let me just ask this question. How is she still there? That's the first question. Second thing, how is she still there? Third thing, how is she still there? And my fourth argument here, like, giving her the power to do anything. Like, giving that woman the power to do anything. Like, Sinn Féin should be asking, why is that woman still there? Why? Who made her education minister? Who's the brainiac that said she'd be good and as minister for education? It's insanity. It's really just insanity. But I say to parents, and I do say to you now, if it's insurance or photocopying expenses or whatever, if it's €100, I would say to pay it if you can. If you can't pay it, I wouldn't go out of your way to pay it and wouldn't borrow money, especially because a lot of parents do borrow money too. I wouldn't borrow it and I wouldn't pay for it. If you can't afford to pay it, don't pay for it, because again, you have to take care of yourself. If you have the money and you're willing to pay €100 for photocopying or insurance, pay for it obviously, but don't pay any more than that. Your taxes covered. Really, your taxes do cover it. That's why you pay taxes. You don't pay taxes for the sake of paying taxes. It's supposed to go to heating your child and keeping your child warm in school, and keeping the electricity on in the schools, because it's a public building, and of all places it's a public building that's belonged by the taxpayer, and the taxpayer paid for it. And it's not fair. It's really not fair. And this thing too, I remember in schools, when I was in school, they didn't put on the heating for some days because they didn't want to have to spend money. It's ridiculous. It really is ridiculous letting children, especially in the cold. They used to have them on sometimes in the summer, and then didn't have them on in the winter. Again, it's comical, Ireland. Normal Foley's education system is brilliant, don't you know? But yeah, it's just comical. But it's a great country. Did I ever tell you that? But again, I say to people who get letters in schools, if you still get letters, just to fuck them in the bin. I'll tell your principal, what the fuck do I pay my taxes for? I'll write to Minister Foley and ask, why the fuck do I pay my taxes and pay? Why are you still here? Like, that's the question I really want to know. That's the one question I want to know before I die. Why is Norma Foley still Education Minister? Because no doubt she'll be the Education Minister next year, and we all have our heads in our hands and wondering ourselves. But yeah, I'd say the parents just not to pay voluntary capitulations. Anyway, let's hope Sinn Féin's bill passed. It doesn't look like a Fianna Fáil Fine Gael. Fianna Fáil Fine Gael. All interest in money. Won't vote for it. They vote against it. But yeah, thank you for watching. Subscribe more. Bye.